Today, you guys, we are talking about the 3 things you must be willing to do in order to move the needle on your goals, in order to achieve your goals, in order to achieve your dreams, okay? So the 3 things you must be willing to do. These are some of the biggest brain blocks, is what I call them, that I see people have, that people that work with me are experiencing and running up against. These are brain blocks that I myself have experienced. They're super common, and it's just something that all of us have going on, right? But awareness is power. And so if we can see that, if we can see them, if we can know that they're part of the experience, if we can place our eyes on them and start to catch ourselves when we're in those brain blocks, when we're spinning out, then we can make more informed choices about how it is we want to act instead, right? We can choose different action, okay? So the 3 biggest brain blocks that are either preventing you from getting actionable or staying actionable. And then the 3 things you must be willing to do, right? To move through those brain blocks. And we're going to be talking about mindset shifts and giving you some perspective shifts and even giving you some pleasure tools today that you can kind of play with to help your brain and your body along with moving through these brain blocks or these mindset blocks, okay? So the first one is the first thing you must be willing to do if you want to reach your goals, if you want to start actualizing your dreams, right? The first thing you must be willing to do is take action before you feel ready. Oh, still uncomfortable, right? This one's so uncomfortable for pretty much everyone. Everyone that I've ever worked with is terrified of taking action before they feel ready. All right, so the brain block here is action paralysis, or I've seen people call it analysis paralysis, and it's this mindset or this brain pattern, right? Where, our brain is designed to keep us safe, to keep us as safe as possible, right? To keep us as secure as possible. And so of course our brain wants to avoid unknowns, it wants to avoid risks, it wants to avoid things that are outside of its comfort zone because it just isn't practiced in managing or navigating or handling those things. And so in the analysis paralysis, what we tend to do is we're overanalyzing, we're in that mental overwhelm, where we're thinking about all the things that could potentially go wrong. We're trying to craft like a flawless action plan. We're trying to find that perfect 3-step formula, that perfect magic pill, like that, right? That flawless, perfect thing that's gonna make it so taking action is gonna have 0 risks, right? Which just isn't the case. No matter how much you plan ahead and how much you kind of plan for potential risks or challenges that are gonna happen, you don't live or manifest in a bubble. That's just the truth and the hard reality, right? This world is a big, complex machine. There's a lot of moving parts. The universe is a complex thing with a lot of moving parts. No matter how well you plan, there's always going to be unforeseen things, challenges, and, wild cards that you're going to have to fiddle your way through, that you're going to have to learn how to manage and navigate, right? So the analysis paralysis brain block comes from that desire, your brain's desire to eliminate all potential risks. Obviously, we want to plan ahead to some degree to eliminate certain things, but we can't eliminate everything. That is the illusion. That if we can find the perfect plan, if we can understand everything fully, if we can understand all the moving parts of our dream, desire, or goal, then we'll be able to eliminate all the risk, right? So sometimes this manifests as like taking all the courses, taking all the classes, listening to all the podcasts, right? You get into that consumption overwhelm because you're like, if I can learn and know all the things, then I can, like, you're not necessarily thinking this consciously. This is a subconscious motivation, right? This brain block. Like, if I can learn all the things, then I can eliminate risk, right? when it comes to taking action, I'll be able to avoid and eliminate all the risk, right? And I like to think of it this way, like the bike analogy. It would be like if you were learning to ride a bike for the first time and you read every book you could find on bikes and you watched like PowerPoints or diagrams or presentations on all of the mechanics of the bike. Like you needed to learn how the brakes connected to the freaking gear system or like whatever, right? You wanted to see bikes being created like in the factory. Like you needed to know all the things about bikes before you felt ready to actually get on a bike and learn how to ride it. Right? Like, you don't need to know all of those things. And even knowing all those things isn't going to prevent every single risk. There's still the risk that, you know, someone could walk in front of you and you have to brake hard, or that you're going to like hit a rock that's going to jolt you. You know what I mean? Like there's just no way to eliminate everything. And so this is what that action paralysis kind of feels like and manifests, how it kind of manifests. So again, that planning, like I need to feel ready. I need to know all the things. I need to have the perfect, most flawless plan. And again, this is subconscious motivation. So it's not like we're actually sitting around thinking all those things. That's happening on that subconscious level. So take a minute, take a beat. Like, is that you? When it comes to whatever it is your current goal is, whatever your desire or whatever the dream it is that you're working on right now, or that you want to start working on, right? That you want to start, whatever change it is you're looking to create in your life right now, that you want to get actionable on or stay actionable on. Is there a part of you that's like in that overconsumption, that's trying to learn all the things and plan ahead for all of the things, because deep down you think if I know it all, then I can eliminate risk in taking action, right? That if I can know it all, then I'll finally feel ready. There's always going to be more information. There's always going to be more classes. There's always going to be more podcasts or books or whatever, right? So the trick here is to stop waiting, and it's just to take action before you feel ready. It's to get on the bike and let yourself figure it out as you go, right? So one of the pleasure invitation I have for this brain block is getting into your power. What is something that brings you pleasure, that makes you feel super like in your power, something that makes you feel like unstoppable? This is different for everyone. Like, but what is something that makes you feel like, yeah, I can do hard things. Like I can do like big things. Like when I'm, when I have my full face of makeup on, or when I'm working out or whatever, I feel like I could accomplish anything. I feel like I could rule the world, right? What puts you in that power position? What puts you in that kind of energy? Do more of that and pair that with taking action, right? So if you're someone who's like, yeah, there's definitely action that I could take right now, but I don't feel ready because I don't feel like I know enough yet, start small, start taking action. Start with a little thing and pair it with that, whatever puts you in that powerful energy and that creatrix energy, and mesh the two together. Like infuse some of that, or do the thing that makes you feel really like connected to your power, and then go take the action or do the task, or do the new habit, whatever it is, right? And that way you're helping your body along. You're helping your body create positive associations with the scary action step, right? So even though you don't feel ready, you're like in that energy of we can do this, right? Okay, the second thing that you must be willing to do in order to move the needle on your dreams and start actualizing them and reaching your soul goals is you got to be willing to take messy action. You got to be willing to do it messy and let it be imperfect, okay? So this I call the perfection brain block. And the subconscious motivation behind this brain block is that if we can find the perfect plan, or if we can take action perfectly, then we'll eliminate the risk of failure, right? It's this strive for perfection. If I can get it perfect, then I won't fuck it up, right? It's the fear of fucking it up. It's the fear of failure. It's the fear of it not being right on the first try. Okay. And so, again, the hard reality, the hard reality here is that you're gonna fuck up. You can't be perfect all the time. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna do things messy. And you're gonna figure out how to clean it up as you go. You're gonna figure out, like, practice makes progress, right? These are things that, like, when it comes to forming new habits and new modes of doing and being, when it comes to becoming like that next version of yourself that has the goal or that's reached the goal and made the dream happen, like, there's gonna be stumbling blocks along the way. You can't expect yourself to do it perfect. Like, it's ridiculous, right? But of course, we're not necessarily consciously thinking that. It's this subconscious drive. And so one of the pleasure invitations I have for this, if you're someone that's like, yeah, I totally have action I could take, like, I can see the path to my goal or to my dream, but I'm kind of like afraid of taking action because I don't want to fuck it up. I'm afraid of speaking out. I'm afraid of letting my light shine. I'm afraid of playing a big game because I don't want to fuck it up and I don't want to fail. Then this is for you. This pleasure invitation is all about teasing yourself. It's a way to just kind of release the charge around the fear of failure and to kind of like tease yourself a little bit to make it kind of lighthearted. And so when you're taking messy action, when you're saying to yourself, like, done is better than perfect, this doesn't have to be perfect, I'm working on my perfection, I'm taking action, I'm letting it be messy, right? I'm refining it as I go. You can tease yourself through that. It's a way to kind of turn yourself on. It's a way to get into that kind of lighthearted, childlike, even tap into some of your sensuality, so that, again, you're creating those positive associations with your body, like it's safe, it's fun, it doesn't have to be so serious, right? It's like, oh my God, I'm so naughty when I don't take perfect action. I'm so naughty when I let it be messy, right? I'm so naughty when I let things be messy and I just let them be good enough the way they are. Like, I'm so naughty when I do that, right? Like, tease yourself. Have a little fun. Let it be lighthearted, okay? Try that on and let me know how it feels. The third thing that you must be willing to do, and this one is so hard for everyone, myself included, so the third thing you must be willing to do is you must be willing to meet milestone 1 before you meet milestone 2. It's like we want everything all at once, but really that's not even sustainable. And we'll talk about that. So the third thing you must be willing to do is to meet milestone 1 before you meet milestone 2. And by that I mean progressive growth, sustainable growth. I think I call this the Savant Block, the Savant brain block, because it's like there's this subconscious thing where we think, oh, if it's aligned, if it's really part of my soul journey, if it's part of my path, then it should come easy to me, right? And it's not that we're consciously thinking this. Again, subconscious blocks. These are some of those scripts running in the background. But yeah, like if it's part of my soul journey, if it's really part of my heart, if it's part of my path or my destiny or whatever, then it should come easy. Like I should be really good at it on the first try, or it should just be something that like, poof, I'm magically amazing at. Okay, and the reason this subconscious block kind of plays in the background, again, it's our brain trying to keep us safe, trying to create certainty, and so it's like that, it's that whole brain story that happens from that space of, you know, I could eliminate discomfort and hard work. If that was true, then I would eliminate all the discomfort and hard work of building new skills, of growth, right? But growth is full of discomfort, right? Change is uncomfortable. We know this. So, oh no, you guys can't hear me? I hope it's not on my end. This happened before and the sound worked in the replay, so I'm just gonna keep going. So yeah, I call this the Savant Block. Again, it's that brain function that's like, if this were true, then we would be able to eliminate all discomfort and all hard work, right? But this is the truth, the hard truth, right? Becoming the person you want to be, becoming the next version of yourself, the version of you that has achieved the goal, that's like actualized the dream, that's a growth and transformation process. We think it's as simple as 1, 2, 3. If I find the perfect 1, 2, 3-step formula, like, then I'll be able to make it happen, right? It's just as simple as that. I just need the perfect formula. I just need the perfect 3-step plan or 5-step plan or whatever it is, right? But if it were as simple as that, if achieving our goals and actualizing our dreams was that simple, we'd all be crushing our goals. Like, no one would, like, we wouldn't all be like trying to crush our goals because they'd all be met, right? So the reality is that becoming that next version of yourself is a growth and transformation process. It requires you changing your modes of operation. It requires you building new habits, new modes of being and doing, of thinking and feeling, of relating to, responding and engaging your energy, your internal stimuli and external stimuli, right? So it takes, it's a progressive thing, right? And this is what sustainable growth looks like, right? And by progressive, I don't necessarily mean linear, but like layered. It's layered. There's a foundation built that then you layer upon and you layer upon. I talk about this in my programs. It's the having versus holding kind of framework. Like, you can have or experience some success. Like, if you're working towards a soul goal or a dream, you can have moments of success, right? Where things land, where things manifest. So you can have results and have outcome, but being someone that's able to hold that on a consistent basis is the transformation and the growth, right? Someone who can continually like manifest the results they want or the outcome they want, like that requires having a consistent process. That requires being a new version of yourself that does things differently on a consistent basis to generate those results and outcome. You know what I mean? So being willing to meet milestone 1 before you hit milestone 2 is what allows you to build a really solid foundation and experience that growth and transformation process so that you can consistently achieve and experience the results that you want on a long-term basis versus just a like here or there kind of erratic basis, right? So, yeah, meeting milestone 1 before meeting milestone 2 is something you must be willing to do if you want the sustainable long-term results versus just the sporadic results here and there. That's a having. Oh, I can have it, I can have it, I can have it. But like living it long-term, like that's a holding. I'm holding this pattern. I've created a whole new holding pattern, a whole new mode of operating, of being and doing, thinking, feeling, all of those things that is now my new norm, right? That's stepping into the next version of yourself, right? And so that happens layer by layer, right? Because you need a solid foundation to layer on top of, okay? So, and this part of the mindset blocks that kind of, you know, hold us back here is the thoughts that like, oh, if I can't have it fast, or if I can't have it all at once, then it means I can't have it. It means it's not for me. It means it's not in my, you know, soul plan or my path or whatever, right? Like that's the savant mindset. Like if I can't have it fast, if I can't have it all at once, then it's not for me, right? So the perspective shift there is like, you can have sporadically, you can have sporadic success. You can experience sporadic success, but is that what you really want? Or do you want like a long-term solid foundation of the results or outcome that you want, right? You want it to be anchored. You want it to be a new lived reality, a new version of you. And so for that, you must be willing to meet milestone 1 before you meet milestone 2. So this involves like chunking down our goals, like chunking down our dreams into really simple processes, really simple new habits that we can build and anchor and integrate and then build on top of, right? So the sort of pleasure invitation for this, for helping your brain and your body along with this mindset block, if you're someone who's like, yeah, I've taken action before, I've experienced random success, but it isn't really the sustainable, transformational like change that I'm looking for. It's like not long term. Then this is for you. This is going to help you stay actionable so that you're like consistently showing up and anchoring new habits and modes of being before layering on top of them, right? And so the sort of pleasure invitation here is another kind of tease, just like the one we talked about earlier, teasing yourself. This is sort of like, this is tapping into your sensual energy and kind of teasing with the universe, right? Imagine if you had like a new budding romance, and you wanted like that slow burn experience, right? Everyone loves a slow burn, okay? I mean, that doesn't mean that we don't like hot heat really fast also, but everyone loves a slow burn, right? Think about like the most romantic, like juicy movie that, or book or something that has like a slow burn, that has like slow sexual tension, right? You can play like that with the universe. This is, again, a pleasure invitation to try on, to just see how it feels, to see if it works. Like you're actively, like when you are manifesting and creating, you're in relationship with the universe, right? You're managing your end of the bargain while the universe is handling the rest. You're not worrying about the hows and the wins. That's the universe's job. You're not here to micromanage. You are just showing up consistently and taking action on your goals, right? And so that could be a whole, so like to get into the like milestone 1 before milestone 2, it's like, how can you play into that? Like it's like there's sexual tension there. like the universe is teasing you and you want it so bad. But there's this slow burn happening and you just have to be patient. You have to be willing to to fully indulge the pleasure and turn on that's there in the moment, right? While you sort of crave and desire what's next, you're also like fully in the feels of what's happening because it's just so juicy and there's so much turn on about it, right? Like play with that, tap into some of that. So I'm really inviting you this live to like tap into some of your sensual and even sexual energy to get into pleasure and receivership and help your brain and body along with creating the change that you want to make, right? So we've talked about the mindset kind of patterns, the brain blocks that like literally these are like the most common brain blocks that I see when people come to work with me. It's the things, it is the brain blocks that are preventing them from getting or staying actionable on their goals, right? And we know consistency is the key. That's what creates the momentum of change. So you don't have to, and this is something I fully believe in, is you do not have to fix or perfect your mindset before you start taking aligned, consistent action. In fact, this kind of growth, like mindset growth and like building new habits, like all of that happens simultaneously. When you're taking new action, even if you don't fully have like, if you're taking action on your goals, even if you don't fully believe that your dreams and desires are possible, it's just like riding a bike. You could totally be like, I don't believe, like you could fully not believe in your ability to ride a bike. But as soon as you get on the bike and start practicing, even if you have to fall down a couple times, it's like the belief and the embodied change is going to happen simultaneously. You're going to be like, oh yeah, I can fucking do this, right? And we're so often, what is holding us back from either getting or staying actionable on our goals is that we're trying to fix all of the mindset and belief shit before we move. And it's like all of that happens together. It's a system working together. You can take aligned action. You can take action like you believe your dreams and desires are possible, even if you don't fully believe it yet. And the two are going to grow together, right? So I actually went off, I forgot what I was saying. I think I was just recapping what we were talking about today. So the brain blocks that are preventing people from getting and staying actionable. So I invite you to like do some inventory, do some reflection. Am I like involved in any of these brain blocks, right? The mindset shift, we talked about mindset and perspective shifts, the hard truths to kind of reckon with that are going to help us like move through these. And then embodied pleasure and receivership exercises that you can try on and play with and see how they feel. See if they help you lighten the mood and release some of the heaviness and release some of the charge and tap into that creativity and curiosity. Like, curiosity, y'all, is a game changer, right? Tapping into your feminine power, your whatever power, tapping into that creatrix energy and just, you know, being a boss, right? So that's what I have for you guys today. And I will see you all next Tuesday. Mwah.